What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Bowie, and we're returning to The Man Who Sold the World, 1970. Thank you again to Judith for the large collection of Bowie materials. And the next song is All the Madmen. So, it's the kind of phrase that makes me think there may be some societal commentary here, which is to say, a singular madman feels like it could be more narrow and more of a targeted narrative, but all the madmen, seems more like it could be, again, an incisive commentary on the modern world or the powers that be, the people who run the nations and the companies and so on. Of course, it could be even more narrow than that. It could be, about the music industry or something much more specific. Nevertheless, I will try to catch what I can on a first listen. This is David Bowie. The track is All the Madmen, and it's from his 1970 album, The Man Who Sold the World.
After day, they send my friends away to mansions cold and grey, to the far side of town, where the thin men stalk the streets while the sane stay underground. Day after day, they tell me I can go. They tell me I can blow to the far side of town, where it's pointless to be high, 'cause it's such a long way down. So I tell them that I can fly, I will scream, I will break my arm, I will do me harm. Here I stand, foot in hand, talking to my wall. I'm not quite right at all, am I? Don't set me free, I'm as heavy as can be. Just my librium and me, and my EST makes 3, 'cause I'd rather stay here with all the madmen that perish with the sad men roaming free. And I'd rather play here with all the madmen, but I'm quite content they're all the same as me. Where can the horizon lie, when a nation hides its organic mines in a cellar, dark and grim? They must be very dim. Day after day, they take some brain away, then turn my face around to the far side of town and tell me that it's real, then ask me how I feel.
straight out, which feels quite appropriate. It feels like we're sort of descending into the madness of the narrator. Indeed, like lyrically, it was sort of on the opposite side of what I considered in advance, meaning he wants to stay with all the madmen. He's saying they're the same as him. Now, again, depending on what that's being contrasted against, it could obviously change the meaning a great deal. And there were some lines at the beginning, like all these people have been sent off to these, what was it, like Gray Hills, or like I forget exactly what the phrasing was. So then I was like, oh, like, you know, this late 60s, early 70s, this could make reference to, you know, some of the geopolitical conflicts, you know, drafts and so on, but I don't think that's where this was. But again, he was saying, like, don't let me free. So then I was like, oh, like, is this an asylum? Is this kind of like a, you know, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but sort of like from someone who feels like they're exactly where they should be? I do wonder. I will say I enjoy his vocalizations, and definitely the tune is more rocking. Like, you know, I remember Mark saying that his very first album is sort of music hall, and it's quite different from what comes after. The Space Oddity album, or the second self-titled album, that definitely had a bit of a different feel. But this feels, you know, we're very much in a, like, classic rock, you know, maybe with a bit of psychedelic rock in there. It sounds very different from a lot of what I've heard so far. And yeah, I enjoyed the drumming especially. Like, you know, I was sort of gesturing, there was that ride cymbal, I think. Maybe it was a crash cymbal, but I think it was a ride cymbal that just kept going at the end of the track. And even before that, there were like these flourishes, like on the hi-hats, and I think there was maybe a different flourish, like, before that. But yeah, right before the chorus, or like at least measure changes, there were these really dynamic flourishes. And there was actually a rhythm in there that reminded me of Ravel's Bolero, that like ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was sort of cycling through that again and again. It reminded me of the Bolero, because that's sort of the rhythm of the Bolero. But yeah, again, I don't really know what's happening here. My best guess is something like an asylum or a, you know, mental institution where, you know, he's come to realize that he's every bit as mad as the others, and thus, you know, is essentially warning, you know, don't set me free. Now, maybe, again, if there is anything to what I was thinking at the beginning of the track, maybe it's like, oh, well, I should be here, because if I'm not here, I'm going to be over there, and I don't want to be over there. But yeah, again, I enjoy the rock edge to this one, the guitar work, and I enjoy the way, like, it really kicks into gear a couple times. It's, you know, sort of meandering, and it's a bit more low key, and then it really, like, turns on the energy and the power. So I definitely enjoy that. Do let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.